Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you again.
Thanks. Same here.
So, today's Friday. Were you? Oh, okay. Yeah, were you home today most of the day?
Yes,
Oh,
we
okay.
have been at home because we are having our summer vacation.
Summer vacation. Awesome. So then, during your summer vacation, do you still do any teaching, like on the computer?
No,
Any like side work?
I'm not doing teaching, but I'm learning. I'm learning
Mm, for
Arabic
yourself.
language. I'm reading books. This is
Nice.
how I'm passing my time.
Very nice. Oh, good. So then,
So, how is your teaching going?
so far, very good. I'm working at a few companies, so it's very interesting. I have mostly a lot of Chinese kids, and then with Cambly, I have a lot of kids who are in Arabic countries, and sometimes in Brazil. And so it's always nice learning about different cultures because we don't always learn those things in America, like in school. We
Yes.
learn about some cultures, but not others. Maybe like we'll learn about Spanish culture or Indian or maybe some Korean or Japanese. Maybe it's very, so now I feel like I'm learning more about other cultures. So I really like that. And then
I also like this. That's why I'm on Cambly.
mhm.
So every day I have to talk to different people belonging to different countries. I like to hear from them.
That's good. And if you speak to someone from Canada, we sound very similar to them. We just have a slight differences, but we sound pretty similar to them.
Americans and Canadian.
Yeah, the Canadians. A lot of times the Canadians say like when they speak. Americans don't usually do that. So usually I could tell when someone's Canadian, they'll be like, "Oh, you want to go try some A?" Like they'll end a question with A, and I'm like, "Oh, you're Canadian." They have like the way they pronounce a few words is slightly different too, but almost everything sounds the same. Just only a few small differences, and I'll catch, "Oh, you're Canadian." I can tell.
But there is difference in British English, the pronunciation of the
Yeah,
words.
totally. Yeah, there's a lot of differences. I mean, we can communicate just fine. I just found that because I had lived in Australia, I found that they use a few words that are different. So that was kind of fun to learn. Like my roommate, she's Australian. One time I brought home some groceries, and then she asked me, "Did you bring home a chook?" And I didn't know what a chook was. And I was like, "What's that?" She's like, "A chicken." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know what a chook was. We never say chook. We always say chicken.
Chuck is chicken in which language?
English,
Australian.
Australian.
Okay. This is
So
new for me.
they have a lot of different words that are so funny because they like to shorten things. So for instance, there's a supermarket called Woolworths, and they like to shorten it, so they call it Woolies. And then there's a city
Fully.
called Brisbane. It's not Brisbane, Brisbane. So I'm like, all right, I got to switch how I, and they call it Brizzy. It's like they like to shorten everything. So
So they
sometimes,
like to they like to use nicknames instead of their proper names.
yep, abbreviate. They love abbreviating things, making them smaller.
Okay.
And so, of course, their AEIOU is slightly different than American. So everybody called me Bianca. I wasn't Bianca anymore. It was Bianca. So I had to
And the
get used
correct
to that.
pronunciation is Bianca.
Yeah, the correct one is Bianca. But it's okay because they have people in their country called Bianca and they're used to it. So they're just gonna keep
Okay.
calling me Bianca. And they have a lot of different names for like but this is the same in England. Like the back of my car, we call it the trunk and they call it the boot. But for me, a
Yes.
boot is something I put on my foot. So I had to get used to the boot. They're like, "Oh, check in the boot." And I'm like, "Okay, the trunk." And then also there they say they would like to invite me for tea. I just spelled that wrong. Sorry. They would like to invite me for tea. I'm thinking tea, the drink, right? And no, they mean dinner. And I'm like, you told me we're having tea, right? And they're like, no, yeah, tea, dinner. We're gonna eat a meal. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. This is only in Australia. I don't think the British do that. They so
Wow, it's very different. Tea and dinner.
yes, and I don't know how you guys say there, but some people, not in my area, some parts of America, they will call supper. But where I'm from,
Yes.
we never say supper. We would always say dinner, but we never say supper. So I would always get confused. Is that dinner or when do you eat supper? I don't understand. I only know breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know any supper. So that was it depends what area you live. We will do this. If you're eating breakfast, but it's like 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, we'll call it brunch because
Yes.
we combine the lunch and the breakfast.
Breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, so we make it
Yes.
brunch. I'm like, you're having brunch because it's already lunchtime, but you're eating breakfast. You're eating eggs and cereal. These are
Yes.
breakfast foods, so we call it brunch. So that I knew, but supper, yeah, that's funny. We never used this word too much where I was from, but I knew it was a certain time, but I didn't know when. So it's very interesting. Yeah, the English language
Yes.
has some variations, but we can communicate just fine. We'll just have a few things like, can you explain what this means? Like, because I know that's an English word, but I don't understand it. It's like for instance, in Australia, they call it a rock melon. Um, and I'm
Watermelon.
like, and so for us, I believe that's a cantaloupe? Cantaloupe? A
Yes,
cantaloupe.
I think so.
So they said it looked
Yes,
like a
can be.
rock. So they call it a rock melon. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. It does look like a rock, but I
Watermelon.
never would have known what is this rock melon. And I thought it was a new melon that I never had before. They call it a rock melon. It was really cute.
Yes.
So I learned a lot of funny things. And then of course in Canada, I didn't notice too many differences. We had very similar words. We could communicate just fine. Yeah, of course, America, we don't use the same metric system, so that gets a little annoying when we travel. Otherwise, yeah. But where you
That's
live, do they want you guys keeping a distance from each other when you're outside?
uh, we are observing curfew over here.
Okay, but
So
like,
whenever we go, like I don't go.
okay,
My friends, my roommates go for
ah,
grocery shopping. I avoid going outside.
okay, you're avoiding going outside.
So
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
I'm avoiding. But do they have social distancing in place?
yes, they have.
So how much
Yes,
how much space do they want you to observe? How much
I think
distance?
1 meter.
So 1 meter.
1 meter.
1 meter. Okay. So we say here 6 feet. So I'm thinking, I wonder how many meters are they do they want? Okay, so one
Okay.
meter. All right. So we have here 6 feet, you see, but we use feet. So then it gets annoying because then I tell people 6 feet. And what is that? What is 6 feet? Nobody knows what that is. Yeah, so that's a huge difference, of course. America, we have a different metric system. So when I lived in Australia, I had to keep calculating the degrees because usually Miami's about 31 degrees, about 32, 31. It's pretty hot here. But then in Australia, they would tell me a degree, and I'm like, what does that mean? Because we use a higher number. We use like 70, 80, 90. We use a higher number. So have you been to America or not yet?
No,
No?
I've
Okay.
never been to.
Are you interested in visiting?
This is definitely. This is the first time I'm out of my country,
Okay.
and I want to go to America or UK for
Mm.
doing my CELTA. But let's see what happens
You said for doing your what?
after this. CELTA.
CELTA?
Certificate of English
Oh,
Language Teaching.
that one, the CELTA. Okay, the name of the certificate. Thank you. Okay. Oh, so you want to do that overseas? Okay. Or well, Britain's not really.
One,
Yeah. Hmm.
one in one of my session, I was talking with a Canadian tutor. Maybe she was Canadian, I think. So I asked her whether you know about CELTA. So she was very much surprised. She asked me why are you asking me this? So afterwards, I came to know. She told me that Celta in her language is a name of a particular dance. So
My gosh. Wait. How do you spell it? CIELTA?
the you are talking about the course or the dance?
No, the course. The course.
CELTA.
Celta.
CEL. Yes.
And she said it's a dance because I know a dance is called salsa. Is that
Yes.
what she means?
But there is another dance maybe,
Okay.
because she was totally confused. She asked me, "Why are you asking me this?"
You want to learn about dance? Celta. That's so
And it was
interesting.
new for me.
Hmm.
I was not aware of it before, that it's also a dance.
I don't know Celta. I
Yes.
know salsa because